In this comparative study, I will be exploring the similarities and differences between Billy Wilder's 1944 classic film noir, Double Indemnity, and Matt Reeves' 2022 neo-noir, The Batman. I will be focusing on comparing the femme fatale archetypes presented in both films. Although they bear some minor similarities due to them being the same genre, the differences between the femme fatale archetypes presented in Double Indemnity and The Batman are striking, due to how feminist movements have changed the film industry over a massive time gap. These two films come from a very different time period, having a 78-year gap between them, and in these years, many changes have come for women's rights specifically. There have been huge feminist movements that have changed the film industry forever. These are reflected between these two films and the changes made to the portrayal of the femme fatale character, and gives an insight into how the portrayal in media has changed after 78 years. The cultural context of each film is significant, especially when juxtaposed. Double Indemnity is a classic film noir and was filmed in the US in 1945. In this time period, due to the fact that women didn't have many rights and were more dependent on their husbands, men were more abusive and controlling, which drove some women to seek independence from their marriages. This is present in Double Indemnity, as the femme fatale character feels the same about her own husband, which makes her pursue another man. These escaping intentions that were occurring around this time period are reflected by the portrayal of the femme fatale character. This portrayal reflects how women wanted to escape abusive husbands in that time period, especially after the anxiety-inducing World War II. The Batman is a neo-noir and was filmed in Liverpool and London, England, UK, in 2021. During that time, feminist movements were taking the world by storm, and they were fighting for things like equal pay, better representation in sports, etc. This is present in The Batman, as the femme fatale is portrayed to be much more modern when compared to the femme fatale from Double Indemnity. She has fighting skills, her own home, her own cats, which make her a more interesting character with multiple layers, as she is much more empowered than her counterpart from 78 years ago. Phyllis from Double Indemnity mainly relies on her sexual allure and manipulation to get what she wants, while Catwoman in The Batman uses all of her skills combined for the same thing. This reflects how the film industry has changed due to feminist movements. In this scene, we see Walter and Phyllis' second interaction together. It starts off with her opening the door in a friendly way. The mise-en-scène presents her as innocent, as she is wearing a white top and has white hair, which represents purity and goodness. Phyllis first mentions,
As a matter of fact, I thought he'd be here this afternoon.
She calls for the maid and then innocently says,
Oh, I forgot. Today's the maid's day off.
A day earlier, in a previous scene, she tells Walter to come the next day. She manipulated the situation completely to get Walter and herself alone. During the dialogue, she takes a long time to reach the point, acting innocent in her intentions, which is evidenced by how she constantly asks questions as if she's clueless to the situation. Eventually, she asks for accident insurance for her husband, but she wants it without informing him in an innocent way. However, Walter sees Phyllis's true intentions and leaves immediately. Throughout the scene, Phyllis has seductive and suggestive body language. A part of the dialogue is about how Phyllis and Mr. Dietrichson have no interaction as a married couple, going so far as to say that they don't speak to each other for hours while sitting in the same room. This is evidence of a stale marriage, which is how Wilder makes sure the audience and Walter can see Phyllis's true intentions. These elements of film all reflect how Phyllis, the femme fatale character, uses her sexual allure, seductive language, and manipulative nature to get what she wants, which in this case is to kill her husband for money and freedom from a stale marriage. There are multiple elements used to present Phyllis as an innocent character, such as white clothes and white hair, an innocent tone while speaking, and cluelessness, but these are masking her true intentions. This shows how the film portrays the femme fatale character as someone who will do anything to escape her marriage. These artistic choices by Wilder is proof of how women wanted to break off their stale marriages. We also see that Mr. Dietrichson is an example of a bad husband, since he doesn't talk to his wife, representing the behavior of husbands in that time period. The femme fatale character also shows how women were slowly rising up, as Phyllis may be manipulative and seductive, but she is without a doubt cunning and intelligent as well. Alternatively, Catwoman is introduced in this scene as a character who wants revenge for her friend. Her tone is very angry, and she is speaking very loudly and defiantly.
I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna make him pay.
Although she's asking for Batman's help as the Femme Fatale character, she's being genuine as she isn't trying to seduce him with her body language or tone. This is quite different from how Phyllis tries to ask for Walter's help, as she uses an innocent tone and seductive body language to mask her true intentions, while Catwoman reveals them instantly without any filter. There are some hints of seductiveness in her costume, as it is very tight and fitting, outlining her figure, but this is likely just the director wanting to stay true to the comic-accurate Catwoman costume. Eventually, in the dialogue, she reveals some sad parts about her life, making Batman more sympathetic. She starts walking closer to him and says,
Who are you over there?
in a seductive tone, showing that she's interested in Batman. She touches his face and gets close with their lips being only a few centimeters away from each other. A normal femme fatale like Femme Phyllis would be trying to do this purely for manipulation, trading sex for what she wants. However, in this scene, she narrates her plan, he agrees, and only then she kisses him, which is evidence that she is interested in Batman, differentiating her as a femme fatale character. To summarize, Catwoman bears some similarities to Phyllis, as she does try to manipulate Batman, using her sad life to get him to sympathize and being seductive at times. However, she's a multi-layered character who goes beyond the archetype. She is genuinely interested in Batman, which is evidenced by their passionate kiss, and she also has intentions that go beyond the femme fatale character, wanting to seek revenge for her friend, which shows selflessness, a trait not present in femme fatale characters. This scene reflects how the portrayal of femme fatale in films have changed to become more complex and interesting characters that don't follow the same structure every time. These artistic choices by Reeves are evidence of how, due to feminist movements around the world that have been going on for the past 5 to 10 years, the film industry has changed completely. For a movie to succeed in today's times, a femme fatale character like Phyllis may not be accepted fully, as she would be considered too seductive and shallow. But Catwoman somehow represents the multi-layered individuals that women are today. After 78 years, there are significant differences between Double Indemnity and the Batman, as one would expect. This is due to the feminist movement, and the old femme fatale character will likely only return if a daring director wants to make a contemporary classic film noir. The film noir genre has changed significantly in terms of the portrayal of the femme fatale character, and this is evident in my analysis.